multiple league sources have said for months that Mitchell did not have a great confidence in Bickerstaff, the coach, and he was not alone.
This Cavs team, the moment they traded for Donovan Mitchell is when it was like, you're speeding up the timeline.
Donovan Mitchell quit on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I am so over this player and power movement. This was probably like him being in the East, right? They faced the Celtics, decently good team. I don't think they couldn't not compete with the Celtics, at least to make it competitive. This is the best team Donovan Mitchell's been on. This is the best team Donovan Mitchell's been on.
Hey, gang, just say you didn't watch them 2 games he played. Just say you didn't watch. Just say you didn't watch the series until he quit.
Listen. Because I know now. Listen, I know on the games they was getting smacked up. I know on the games they was getting smacked up. Now, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on paper going into the series.
This is the best team Donovan Mitchell's been on?
I think so. And I know niggas were saying Utah.
That's the hot take right there.
Yeah, it's not a die by. I'm not going to die by.
One Rudy, and I'm talking about team as a whole. Think everybody healthy. All right, one Rudy, Mike Conley, Joe Jingles. I don't know. But Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Okoro, and I'm gonna fill in the rest of the names.
Stop.
The crew.
I'm about to say, after you got Mobley, I'm like, yeah. Let's see if he's on lying.
This team they've been talking about the Knicks, JB, Randall, and them dogs. Like, all right, dog, hit one more player. Do it.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's on a team where the team was top 3 in offense and defense. Gary, I don't know.
Okoro. No, Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert has some. He has some.
There you go. Don't be chat, man. Don't be chat.
But ultimately, like,
Karis was scored. Come on.
I gotta go with the 21.
But a long story less long. Forget the team. He bitched at the end of this. He was never going to stay. He was never. And I know people were like, oh, yeah, we knew he was never going to stay. I didn't think he would go out like that. Calf strained my ass. Donovan Mitchell quit on that team.
Okay.
Tear it up. Tear it up if you really about it. Tear it up.
Just let me know when you're done.
Nah. He done. We done with the Donovan Mitchell.
I thought he didn't want players to play through injuries.
He's not injured, so he's not.
How do you know? You know his calf?
I seen Darius Garland score a layup. You know what Donovan Mitchell did? He said, yeah. What kind of injury is that?
Casual chat.
All right, man. Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: Omar.
Yes, I know his path.
Any other situation, I would be 100% on your side.
Here he goes.
Casual crazy. I would 100% be on your side, gang. That's whack as fuck. Quitting on your team is insane. I watched Donovan Mitchell go out there and get jumped by the Celtics.
I'm about to say, gang.
Darius Garland was not the Darius Garland yesterday.
I promise you, that nigga went out there and Omar, it was the Celtics versus Donovan and friends. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm already disgruntled, if I'm already not liking my situation, and we get through one series on the back of me being heroic.
I was about to say it was the Magic versus Donovan.
Yeah, I already did this once, and now I go out here and I'm getting doubled, tripled, and I still have to put out 40 just for us to lose by 10. I watched LeBron quit on this team. I watched LeBron quit. Hey, Donovan Mitchell, he was there in 2018 when LeBron quit on the Cavs. I'm not, bro. Fuck it. I'm out. And what happened when he said? You know who else said? You ain't talking about it. Jared Allen sat his big afro ass down too. Who else said? 2 more niggas sat with him. So you can't sit there and tell me, oh yeah, Donovan Mitchell's such a hoe. Hey, it's a team full of hoes because 2 niggas followed his ass to the bench. This is crazy.
What makes you say he quit on the Cavs? Though? I'm still kind of confused.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into it now. Maybe it is a quittable team, but we got to wrap up the series anyway. Celtics finished them pretty handy-manily. But what's coming out of the camp is interesting. And let me say this: I don't like this new trend. I don't like the trend of the season ending, your series ending, or whatever the case may be, and then all of a sudden reports just come in flowing. I do not like that. It really makes it feel like it's not a team atmosphere. It's very telling about the teams that it does come out of. Y'all really don't like each other for real, but I just don't like it. First and foremost, Jared Allen also didn't play. Some members of the Cavs were frustrated with Jared Allen after he refused an injection to try to numb the pain and play through his rib injury.
Did he quit on the team?
Is a crazy conversation to have. I'll say this, I don't think Jared Allen quit on the team, especially if they're noting that this is so painful enough that he needs an injection to play through it. They're not saying that about Donovan Mitchell's calf.
I guess I'll just chime in here. Donovan Mitchell quitting on this Cavs team, to me, and maybe that's because he's in my top 5 faves. Crazy conversation. Yeah, he one of my top 5 favorite players. I'm dead. I'm dead. I like Donovan Mitchell. Damn, I can't like Don.
Pretty shooting guard in the league, Omar. Yes, it's possible he could be one of your favorite fighters.
Dog.
I just
he has a pretty good game. I don't know, like it's not boring.
He cool. Anyway, for me, Don, obviously against the Orlando Magic. I'm sorry I interrupted Damo when I said earlier, but Damo was talking about 5v1 in Boston. In my opinion, it was even against Orlando. He just actually solo squatted. Darius Garland is making me look wrong about him every year I assess him, because recently I've joined the Darius Garland hype train that you guys begged me to join. Talking about smoothest game, yada yada yada. I chalked up last season as being it is what it is, and then this season now I'm like, I kind of want to hop off the train, but then surely enough, next season he'll probably start cooking. So I'm just gonna stop speaking on his game, or I'm just gonna forever speak negatively. So he's a bucket. Besides the point, when I look at this Cavs roster, even when you were and you backed off of it necessarily, when I didn't back off it, but you like didn't really care about it. When you were talking about this Cavs roster being the best roster he's had on his team, literally it was kind of funny because Jared Allen didn't even play in Boston. And then once we get past, once we go past Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and Darius Garland, it's all respect to all the Cavs players. It's not that good of a roster. So at that point, when he's already solo squatting the team, if he's injured, I'm always pro dog. He hurt. I'm not going to call you a liar. The Jared Allen shit is nasty. Side note, dog, I tell my Mahomes needle jokes all the time, but that's not a norm, dog. Like, that's not cool. So I don't see in any way, shape, or form how he quit. If anything, he's the sole reason they got there. And yes, I'm even talking about a single game against Boston.
You triggered my trap card.
I don't care. Pot agreed.
Yeah.
Draw 2 cards.
Triggered my trap card.
It's another trap card. I have this article from the one and only Shams Charanian. This is about the Cavaliers. Multiple league sources have said for months that Mitchell did not have a great confidence in Bickerstaff, the coach, and he was not alone. Several players questioned Bickerstaff's strategy, game management, practice habits, and accountability measures privately and publicly throughout the season.
So it's East Devin Booker. Okay, but
after the game, Cavs president Kobe Altman walked in the coach's office and admonished head coach JB Bickerstaff in front of his entire staff for playing Mitchell such heavy minutes. What are we doing? Multiple sources told the Athletic. Descriptions of the incident spread across the organization, including the locker room. Altman got at JB, one player said of the incident. The immediate aftermath of that night was confusing. For instance, Altman was unaware at the time he was scolding Bickerstaff that the coach had asked Mitchell if he wanted to come out, according to the league sources, and Mitchell declined. Yet Mitchell was absent from the court for Cleveland's next 4 games due to what the team called a non-Rona illness. There were also questions of fit on the roster to work through, such as whether Allen and Mobley, 2 non-shooting bigs, can coexist in the same starting unit, and whether Garland can thrive playing alongside Mitchell as 2 smaller guards who need the ball. Furthermore, rival executives believe the Cavs will have to seriously evaluate the fit of Mitchell and Garland, and ultimately may have to choose one or the other. All this tells me, one, Darius Garland, you're kind of screwed, gang. You're kind of screwed. But 2, are we building teams or are we building bitches? What are we doing? Oh my God. What is Kobe Altman doing? Nigga sitting there yelling at him and JB Bickerstaff sitting like this. He said he wanted to stay in. What are we doing?
The NBA playoffs are here, man. There's a lot of money to be made if you play daily fantasy sports. And if you want to get into the action, you guys can use Prize Picks, the sponsor of this podcast, our preferable way to play daily fantasy sports. We will show you how to play the game right now, and it is very, very simple. Just sign up for an account, download their app, go on their website, and make some picks. And if you really know ball, you can win some money. I'm gonna go ahead and look down here. Kevin Durant, 36.5 points plus rebounds plus assists versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm sensing a big game from KD tonight, man. Hit more for me, please. And then Darius Garland has been letting me down all year, and it's just another day of the year. Hit less for me on the PRA as well for Darius Garland. Omar, you decide how much we put on the entry.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit. I'm going to put 210 on there. Make place entry.
And if you use code LKIB, PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit up to $100. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right back to the content.
Bro,
I do think JB Bickerstaff is getting scapegoated, man. Another scapegoat in the league, man.
Okay.
So.
I don't think. Well, yeah, he's in the process of it now. I think he's getting scapegoated for the wrong reasons, in the sense of it's actually not even a players thing. I know the subject is Donovan Mitchell. I think the subject and where that article stood out to me was the roster, and therefore the front office. We talked about it, and I know we haven't dribbled. I know that we haven't played in the NBA, so how could we possibly know anything? But we all sat here, and while we were high on the potential of this team in terms of the immediate factor of it, we all said, yo, the 2 small guards and 2 non-scoring bigs, they ain't gonna be nothing right now. Now, top 5 young core, cool. Top 10 young core, cool. But in terms of winning a championship now, yeah, they'll be pretty good second round type team. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Hell, I'll take it a step further.
Damn.
I'll take it a step further, and I play my Flip Frog card, which if you guys don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, boy. If you don't, you don't. I'm playing Flip Frog because I'll say this, you fool. I've always said that the Cavs were dysfunctional. Hell, if you go back on a recent pod, I said that the Cavaliers will probably lose to the Magic in 6 because they're ultimately this team that just don't fit together, don't even look like they like each other. And I think Orlando can capitalize off that despite being the younger team. So I already kind of knew this, gang. I ain't gonna lie. It's just, if this confirms it, obviously a nigga like Donovan Mitchell will just say it's cap, and maybe it actually is. You know how the shit goes. But yeah, I wasn't too high on this team this season. I had them as a first round exit. They got an extra game on the Magic, let alone beat them. And Donovan Mitchell just outplayed kind of what I thought he could do, because I thought he had to hit some threes. Apparently he didn't to beat them.
I think they asked and needed Evan Mobley and Darius Garland to develop way quicker than the time that they needed. Because even from what I saw of the series, I think Evan Mobley's still a really good building block for the Cavs. They just, in the combination with him and Jared Allen, they don't work together, dog.
Well, let me say this too, and mind you, that they, in the same article, they talk about how the agent for Evan Mobley urged the Cavs not to draft him, and they still draft him, and apparently it remains healthy. But another one of these quotes is, the second guessing of Bickerstaff started there. This is about a practice. Multiple veterans in the Cavs locker room grew frustrated with Bickerstaff for treating the Cavs as a young team with much to learn instead of as a team ready to contend. They were also less than enthused by the Cavs' offense last spring and into the first part of the season. Mitchell was among them. Players would leave practices and morning shoot-arounds wondering aloud, why did we even do that? What did we accomplish? So perplexed by the lack of structure and intensity in the workouts. To me, that sounds like they gave y'all, and this is why coaches need to have more platforms, and we need more vets in the league. Shut the hell up, get in the gym, get some work in, figure out how y'all are going to play together, get some continuity, all this stuff. You don't always need somebody to lead you, because if y'all don't have this time, y'all ain't going to do nothing, and that's been proven. Get in the gym and work on your game. I'm really tired of players just bitching. They're finding a reason to bitch and moan. When's the last time y'all heard a coach or a player stand up for a coach?
Now, where I will go,
guys.
and I think it's a separate conversation, but yeah, I'm definitely on the mindset of, I don't want to sound like, massa, no shit. I think sometimes this, like the player empowerment movement, sometimes gets cringe in the sense of like, dog, it's never their fault. Or like, dog, they get to do other people's jobs, like directly. Hell, they just get to aura off a head coach when the head coach, we all know it wasn't really his fucking fault. But just because a specific player didn't fit with the team, and that specific player has, quote, aura, Now that nigga's gone. So I'm 100% with you on that. Even if there is recent examples of players defending head coaches, it's not plentiful. It doesn't feel that way.
I would just say, genuinely, looking at the Cavs and how this whole thing is unfolded, this is the reason why people are telling the Spurs to take time with Wemby. Don't rush the process of Wemby. This Cavs team, the moment they traded for Donovan Mitchell is when it was like, you're speeding up the timeline. And anybody will tell you Donovan Mitchell being there is hindering the development of Darius Garland on the offense. Is taking the ball out of his hand. It's hindering the development of Evan Mobley because he's not required to develop certain offensive skills because Donovan Mitchell is such an offensive hub. This is why you don't rush it. This is why you just let it happen. This is why people are – this is why, Sage, when we're having that conversation about what should the Thunder do with these picks, I get it. Hey, you have a bundle of picks. Hey, trade them. Don't get stagnant. But at the same time, don't just start doing shit because you feel like, hey, we got to do shit because, hey, we're right there. Let the shit happen.
Oh, yeah, we agreed on no Paul George, no.
Yeah. But that's another reason why I'm like, yo, don't just rush it for just anybody. It has to make sense. Some niggas you just have to go and pay for, whatever it is, but don't just rush the process because you will fuck it up. Donovan Mitchell was a guy who came into a situation in Utah. He was drafted there. It was already a playoff team, so it wasn't like Donovan Mitchell never had to just be on a bad team that built into a good team. So Donovan Mitchell, in my opinion, never had a display of him being a good locker room leader, a locker room guy. He was an older player who got drafted on a playoff team after Gordon Hayward left, and they proceeded to be a playoff team, and they just steady were a first, second round team until he ended up leaving. He left disgruntled. He left with beef and issues with teammates. He left in a dirty way, gets on the Cavaliers, and it's more of the same. He just turned this team into the Eastern Conference fucking Jazz. This is the Cleveland Jazz. That's genuinely what this is.
But better.
But better. Yeah, obviously I would say a better team. I think it's the better team. But same outcome. And it's about to be the same exit. So I would think teams will have to look around and think what's worth it. Like, is that worth it for your bundle of young guys? Because had they waited, let the process build, they probably would have had a better situation, probably had a better team, probably had a better unit of chemistry and everything like that, and we wouldn't be here. Look at the Suns. The Suns literally got to the goddamn finals, and because they wanted to rush it, traded away everything.
Brought in KD.
Just to get KD and turn into the Western Conference Nets. Like, I don't like it, this shit it's literally a repeated cycle, and no one's noticing it. And it's very sad.
No,
Also, in terms of it being a player empowerment league, I mean, hey man, I was in there with you watching Winning Time. I've said this plenty of times. I know it's probably like made up how it was dramatized, how shit was. Them niggas was divas then too. Like, hey, players have always been divas. Players always hated coaches and had ulterior motives. The differences are these teams have front offices who stand up and put them in check. They have that GM, that front office guy that puts them in check. That's what separates a place like Miami from a lot of these other teams. You don't hear this shit coming out of Miami. Why? Because if Jimmy Butler is talking about, hey man, we gonna be straight, Pat Riley is there to say, shut up. You weren't playing. Not a lot of GMs are doing that, and that's the issue. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Or Brad Stevens. Yeah.
And I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I'm not saying there hasn't ever been divas, but I do think that there's some veteran presences that are telling them, yo, shut up, gang. Shut up. I don't know what's going on with you, but yo, we're gonna lose if you keep doing this. It's not gonna end up well if you keep doing this. And I agree with you, what you said. Donovan Mitchell is the prime example of what the hell is going on with all these other teams in the league, all these other players in the league. You get one guy, now you feel like you need to speed up your young guy process, and then you mess up the development of your young guy process while simultaneously not capitalizing on your old guy process, because your old guy process isn't really even that great. So we'll see younger teams that had a chance to develop together for a long time. The Thunder, the Timberwolves minus Mike Conley and Ruby. Thunder. I said the Thunder already, didn't I? I meant to say the Mavericks. Some of these guys, the Celtics, some of these guys that get to grow up together, have some continuity, they'll favor better. But some of these guys that think that 36-year-old Kevin Durant is the solution, that 48-year-old Paul George is a solution, that slapping James Harden on the team is a solution. They will perpetually be in this cycle.